My name is Kim Whitmore. I'm the co-founder and board president of the Alana Rose Foundation. Most importantly, I am Alana's mom. I want to personally welcome you to the third annual Butterfly Ball. While we had really hoped to gather in person this year, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has caused us to cocoon in once again this year. Thank you for taking the time to join us for this special event to honor our daughter and all babies who have left this world too soon. Today is an extra special day, as it's the day our daughter Alana would have celebrated her third birthday. 3 years. It's been 3 years since my daughter Alana was stillborn at 32 weeks because of an acute placental abruption that literally ripped her away from me. There are days when it feels like time is frozen in that moment. I can still picture her beautiful face, her sweet chubby cheeks, her long arms and legs, her soft curly black hair, her cute tiny fingers and toes. She was perfect. Too perfect for Earth. There are also days when it feels like time has gone too fast. As each day passes, I get further away from the day and the only time that I will ever have to hold my baby girl's physical body in my arms. Life's not fair. My baby should be here. If I could reverse time and save her, believe me, I would. But sadly, there is nothing I can do to bring her back. For months after Alana's death, I fantasized about dying. I longed to be with her in heaven. But my 2 living boys needed their mommy on earth, and I chose to live. I chose to live better. When Alana died, it felt like my life had shattered into a million pieces. I have since learned that when your life falls apart, you have this incredible opportunity to choose which pieces you pick up and how you put them back together again. I am not the same person I was before my baby girl died. I am transforming after loss. I have a greater appreciation of life and what really matters. I am more empathic to those around me who are hurting. I practice self-care and prioritize my mental health. I make more time for my family because I know how precious this time on earth is. I am a better person because of my daughter. For that, I am grateful. After 3 years, the pain of losing our daughter has evolved from the initial sharp stabbing pain to a constant ache. I have learned to integrate my grief into my life. I embrace the duality of emotions that exist, feeling both blessed and broken. I speak Alana's name daily. I pray for her each night. I kiss her photo that sits on my bookcase in my office. I snuggle with my Alana bear and give it a squeeze so I can listen to her recorded heartbeat. I wear my Alana bracelet and a locket with a tiny photo of her almost daily. My hair has purple highlights, and I surround myself with purple butterflies to remember her. I planted a butterfly garden in our backyard where I can sit in my butterfly-shaped bench and talk with her. We visit her grave each week as a family. We bring her roses, and we play her a special song. It's not how I envisioned being her mother, but it's the best way I know how to care for her. The work of the Alana Rose Foundation has been so healing for me and my entire family. I am grateful that we have been able to turn our pain into purpose. We are working hard to reduce the stigma around grief and loss and raise awareness so that no one has to feel alone in this journey. We envision a world where families who experience pregnancy and infant loss receive all the love and support they need so that they can ultimately be transformed in a way that promotes hope and healing. Thank you for helping to support this mission. Together, we are transforming families after loss. Next, we have a very special tribute in honor of Alana's third birthday, performed by her big brother, Quentin. The Alana Rose Foundation was founded in 2019. Our mission is to raise awareness and provide hope, healing, and support to families who've experienced pregnancy and infant loss. I want to take a few minutes to highlight some of the great work we've been able to accomplish because of the wonderful support of people like you. The proceeds from last year's Butterfly Ball allowed us to purchase a Cuddlecot infant cooling system for Harambe Village. This will allow families who have a child who dies the incredible gift of time to spend with their baby. In total, we've been able to donate over $20,000 to other local partner organizations that support families who experience pregnancy and infant loss. We continue to accept donated wedding dresses to make angel gowns. We run our monthly morning coffee support group, provide educational sessions to students and healthcare professionals, participate in media interviews and radio shows, and share inspiring stories of love and loss to help raise awareness and decrease the stigma around pregnancy and infant loss. With the proceeds from this year's event, we are looking forward to growing a new program that will help provide financial assistance to families to help cover burial expenses. The last thing a bereaved parent should have to worry about is how they're going to afford to pay for a proper burial for their child. When Alana died, someone graciously donated her casket, and it meant the world to us. We are eager to pay it forward. Our goal for tonight's event is to raise $15,000, and you can help us reach this goal by bidding high and bidding often on the online silent auction items, purchasing your Alana swag, or making a donation at alanarose.org. Tonight, we have a very special program planned that I believe will inspire each of you in different ways. We know the topic of babies dying is often uncomfortable for many people to talk about, but tonight our hope is not to make you feel sad and hopeless, but to inspire you to raise awareness and hopefully a lot of money to support families who experience pregnancy and infant loss, something that impacts 1 in 4 women. Together, we can help transform families after loss. Thank you for supporting the Alana Rose Foundation tonight. Next, we have a special performance by Shekinah King.
Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for the break that will make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction. Oh, beautiful release, memories seep from my veins. Let me be empty. Oh, wait, listen, maybe I'll find some peace tonight. You're in the arms of the angel. Fly away from here, from the star-cold hotel room and the endlessness that you feel. You were born from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. So tired of the straight line, and everywhere you turn, and vultures and themes at your back. The storm keeps on twisting, keep on filling the lies that will make up for all that you had, and don't mean no difference. Escaping one last time, easier to believe in this sweet madness. All this glorious sadness that brings me to my knees. You're in some comfort here.
Next, we have a special message from Tia Murray from Harambe Village.
Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for supporting the amazing work being done in honor of Alana at the Alana Rose Foundation. My name is Tia Murray, and I am the founder and CEO of Harambe Village Doulas. Harambe Village is the only community-based agency in Dane County providing doula support, and we have been working to dismantle inequities in birth outcomes since 2014. We are extremely grateful for the support and donations made during last year's Butterfly Ball. Because of your generous donations, the Alana Rose Foundation was able to gift us with a cuddle cot for our families. Although we hope we will never have to use it, we are honored to be able to provide access to a cuddle cot for our families. We feel very blessed to be a part of Alana's extended family, and because of stories like hers, we continue to dedicate our life to this work at Harambe Village. 2022 is an exciting year for us at Harambe. We are set to roll out Phase 1 of services at our Harambe Birth and Family Center, HBFC. The mission of HBFC is to improve birth outcomes and community health by providing access to community-based, one-stop shop, comprehensive health care. Our maternal and infant health practice will provide access to community-based midwifery and doula care, family support programming, and a robust lactation clinic. If you'd like to learn more, please visit harambevillage.org. Thank you again for your generous support, and thank you to the Alana Rose Foundation for your partnership and inspirational work. Although Alana's wings were ready and our hearts were not, Harambe Village looks forward to continuing to honor Alana's story through our work and through our continued support of the annual Butterfly Ball. It truly takes a village.
Next, Sarah Hughes from Public Health Madison and Dane County will provide a brief data update and share information about the important work happening in Dane County to help prevent pregnancy and infant loss.
Hello, my name is Sarah Hughes and I work for Public Health Madison and Dane County. I lead the Fetal and Infant Mortality Review of Dane County, or FEMR, and I'll be providing a brief data update to help frame this evening's events. The Dane County FEMR is a multidisciplinary group of people representing public health, healthcare systems, doulas, lactation specialists, social workers, medical records technology experts, researchers, people who have experienced fetal or infant loss, and other social service providers. During FEMR, we review summarized records of the circumstances leading up to and surrounding a fetal or infant loss. Data and information gleaned during data gathering and case review are used to inform action areas and changes in systems. This is how FEMR usually works. However, since early 2020, our entire team has been deployed to the COVID-19 response, and many of us, including myself, remain there today. While we haven't been able to review the stories and contexts of the 23 infants who we lost in our county in 2021, we have tried to stay as connected as we can and hear about how many of the individuals and organizations have creatively supported pregnant people in the most challenging of years. Today, I'd like to share a brief data update summarizing the trends that we have continued to see in 2021. As we are well aware, pregnancy and birth outcomes are important indicators of the health and well-being of our community. We also know that maternal health, preconception health, and all the upstream determinants of health like racial justice and economic justice are critical in understanding pregnancy and birth outcomes. In this data update, we're focusing on just a small piece of this bigger picture. For the past 5 years, we've seen about 27 infant deaths total per year in our county. We know that any infant death is too many. We continue to see persistent racial inequities in this data. We see a persistent gap between white and Black infant mortality rates. We also see another concerning data point that has been emerging, a widening gap between Hispanic and white births, with the 3-year rolling average of infant mortality among Hispanic babies the highest it has been. As you are well aware, these racial inequities in infant mortality are not due to accident. Structural racism is at the root cause. When families of color and pregnant people of color face discrimination and structural racism, it manifests in challenges such as access to stable housing, a living wage job, and reliable transportation. All of this results in chronic stress, which impacts birth outcomes. Low birth weight is when an infant is born weighing 5 pounds, 8 ounces or less. Low birth weight can be a risk factor for infant mortality. About 400 infants per year in Dane County are born with low birth weight. We see racial inequities in low birth weight, with Black babies being twice as likely to have low birth weight than non-Hispanic white babies. Again, structural racism plays a role here. So what is to be done to impact the underlying causes of these inequities in birth outcomes? Through the challenges of the COVID pandemic, there were some bright spots. The Black Maternal and Child Health Alliance of Dane County was launched. The mission of the Black Maternal and Child Health Alliance is to transform birth outcomes in Dane County by identifying, informing, and advancing strategies that improve the reproductive, maternal, and newborn health outcomes of Dane County's Black population. The Alliance is comprised of 21 local Black women leaders, advocates, and community influencers, led by Dr. Tiffany Green and Chief Program Officer for the Foundation of Black Women's Wellness, Aaliyah Stevenson. A number of local health systems have enacted racial justice initiatives. Health systems, along with Dane County, are advocating for Black maternal health Momnibus, proposed federal legislation that would provide funding to grow and diversify the workforce of maternal health, including nurse practitioners, doulas, and community health workers. And our health department is partnering with the Wisconsin Department of Health Services and Harambe Village Doulas and the Wisconsin Medicaid program to blend the existing prenatal care coordination home visiting program with community doula services. PHMDC is also embarking on an exciting partnership with Roots for Change, the first immigrant marketing cooperative in Dane County, focusing on health, led by Latina and Indigenous doulas and community health workers. So as we remember those who we have lost tonight, let us also have hope for our community's future. Thank you.
And now a special message from Jill Stacy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jillian Stacy. I am here as a representative of Healing Our Hearts Foundation in Madison, Wisconsin. I am here to read you a poem entitled The Island. The island, that safe place, surrounded by the bluest waters and the greenest palms, waves splashing against your legs as you walk out to greet peace and serenity. The island, where everything is pure, everything is still. That a father time, where there's just space, nothing to fight against you, to rush you from this moment. The feeling of solitude and filled with love and purity. The imperfections don't exist. Complete silence and beauty. Lay there and feel the water as it rises, creating breaths to match the energy you are susceptible to receiving. Still the love inside of you, for you, and hold it there. Wrap your arms tenderly around you. I am me, all of me, in this moment, whole and free. The island is the place that I go to spend time with you, the one I miss. Thank you for your time, y'all.
Next, we will hear from Michelle Schrader, who will talk about the Pregnancy and Infant Loss Program at Unity Point Health Meriter, a program that's very dear to our family's heart. We will be forever grateful for the wonderful care that we received from all the staff at Meriter when Alana died.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Schrader. I am the family care clinical nurse specialist with our birthing center at Unity Point Health Meriter Hospital. I lead our pregnancy and infant loss program with Laura Zebarth, our neonatal intensive care unit clinical nurse specialist. Together, Laura and I provide staff education and training, program planning, coordination, and quality monitoring while working directly with families and staff to assure compassionate bereavement care. I am privileged to be representing our bereavement care team of nurses, providers, chaplains, social workers, and program support staff who are dedicated to offering families compassionate care during a time of profound pain and grief, as well as our UPH Meriter Foundation and Community Relations colleagues. I am thankful for the opportunity to honor Alana and her family, who continue to open their hearts to help others experiencing a pregnancy or infant loss. They are incredible, tireless advocates and a steady, shining light for all those who find themselves on or accompanying someone on this so very difficult, unasked for journey. We continue to connect to share memories, stories, resources, insights, and ideas regarding this journey, not only of grief and loss, but also of love and hope and healing and transformation. Time together, which I value on many different levels, both professionally and personally, and find to be inspiring and affirming. Today we are remembering and we are celebrating the birthday of a very special baby girl whose legacy of light and love fills our hearts to overflowing and has created such beautiful energy dedicated to making this particular journey just a little bit easier for those experiencing pregnancy or infant loss. I've been thinking a lot about Alana Rose and her family, her mother Kim, her father Corey, her brothers Quentin and Christian, her grandparents and aunts and uncles and special family friends. I've written a birthday note to Alana that I'd like to share with you. Dear Alana, we are celebrating your 3rd birthday with lots of joy and sparkle and superb music, right alongside the always present longing to have you with us in person. Your mom and your dad and your big brothers and everyone gathered here, whether in person or in spirit, want to be sure you know just how much you are missed and just how much you are loved every day in every possible way. I am quite certain, knowing the family you come from, that you are by now in charge of Heaven's welcoming committee for all angel babies, greeting each one with warmth and understanding, showing them the ropes, offering care and compassion straight from the heart in true Whitmore fashion, just as your family does down here, right alongside of showing them how to have, in capital letters, a really good time. Take a look around, Alana, and see what incredible things are coming into being as a result of all the love and longing your too brief earthly life has created. On this, your 3rd birthday, while we wish with all our hearts that you could be here with us, we also thank you for the gifts received and for the gifts yet to come through your legacy of light and of love. Know that we miss you, we love you, and we hold you in our hearts, just as we know you are holding us in yours. With aching tenderness and heartfelt gratitude for the gift of you, sending a bevy of butterfly birthday wishes for joy and peace your way. Blessings always, Michelle. To Kim and to Corey, to Quentin and Christian, please know how much we at Unity Point Health Meriter are deeply grateful for you, for your work to make a difference for families experiencing a pregnancy or infant loss, and for your partnership and support of our pregnancy and infant loss program. Wishing you and all those whose lives you are touching continued health, wholeness, and healing on the transformation journey. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you.
Next, it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening, Dr. Kristen Sharp, who's going to talk about her transformation after loss in creating the Hope After Loss Clinic.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you today. I was no stranger to pregnancy loss when I experienced the loss of my son Caleb at 20 weeks gestation. As an OBGYN, I had cared for many patients who experienced loss in all stages of pregnancy and beyond. I didn't realize that while I was very experienced with pregnancy loss from a medical perspective, I was completely naive to the grief and emotional experience of pregnancy loss. I remember believing that the worst grief a parent would feel was the day their child died, and that each day would get a little bit better. I had no idea that each day isn't always easier than the day before, and that grief has many ups and downs. I also had no appreciation for the unique grief of pregnancy and infant loss and the isolation that so often accompanies it. So on June 25th, 2013, I walked into Meritor to deliver Caleb, and I felt so prepared because I had seen this before. I delivered my son and then spent an amazing, beautiful, and heartbreaking 2 hours with him before I handed him over to the nurses. I left the hospital thinking that this was the end of my loss journey, but I had no idea that it was just the beginning. In those first days and weeks, I was in complete emotional haze and still trying to make sense of what had happened. I had great support from friends and family and felt that I was doing okay. However, after 3 weeks, I was back to work and my support system was also moving on with their lives and responsibilities. That is when the grief hit me like a 100-foot wave. The sadness was so intense, I could feel it in every cell of my body. I was struggling more at this point than the day I had lost Caleb. I thought something was wrong with me since I wasn't getting better. Fortunately, I was able to talk with other lost families, see a counselor, and access resources, which affirmed that what I was experiencing was normal. This brought a lot of relief to me, but also opened my eyes to all of the emotionally suboptimal care that I had provided to patients for years. So, as I worked through my own grief and educated myself on grief and bereavement, I began to change the way that I provided care to families who had experienced loss. I began more closely following up with them. I called them to check in. I sent them my chart messages. I offered to see them in clinic for more than just the 6-week postpartum visit. I made sure that they were not only medically supported, but emotionally supported. I referred them to counselors who specialize in pregnancy and infant loss and provided them information on local and online support resources, which, of note, I was immensely more familiar with after experiencing my own loss. I was offering these women and their families personalized supportive care. At the time, I didn't realize it, but the care I was providing would be the basis for the Hope After Loss Clinic. During this time, I began to see gaps in pregnancy loss care that existed in our healthcare system. One particularly large gap was in resident education. While OBGYN residents receive robust education in the medical aspects of pregnancy loss, there is little to no education in the emotional and bereavement aspects of loss. This was not only the case here at UW, but the case nationwide. Similarly, as I changed my approach to caring for patients, I also began to change my approach in the ways I taught the OBGYN residents. I expanded my education to include the bereavement aspects of loss. So, for example, there was a situation when I was working in our resident clinic, and a resident had just seen a patient who was following up after her miscarriage. The resident saw the patient and came to tell me how she was doing and that she had recovered well physically. So they made a comment that they weren't really sure why the patient had come in for the visit since she was recovering so well. I took this opportunity to talk with the resident about the emotional experience of loss. We went back into the patient's room together to finish up the visit, and I encouraged the patient to ask, or the resident to ask the patient how she was doing emotionally. The patient then confided to us that she was really struggling. With this knowledge, we were able to provide support, answer her questions, provide reassurance, and connected her with resources. It was through individual encounters such as this that I realized there was so much more work that needed to be done. So in 2015, I began to develop the idea for a clinic that would care for families who'd experienced pregnancy loss. I envisioned this clinic to be a safe and supportive place for these families to receive both medical and emotional care. Additionally, I also wanted this clinic to provide education to the UW OBGYN residents so that they could learn about comprehensive, supportive loss care and carry these experiences into their future careers. As this idea was beginning to take shape, I turned to Google to see what other pregnancy loss clinics existed and how they worked. But to my surprise, I could not find any specialized pregnancy loss clinics in the US. This was just crazy to me. When approximately 25% of all pregnancies end in loss, how could there not be clinics that focus on this? Luckily, there were a few clinics internationally that specialized in pregnancy loss and pregnancy after loss. I was able to connect with Dr. Alexander Hiesel, who started the Rainbow Pregnancy Clinic in the United Kingdom, and he provided guidance and advice on how to start a clinic, and the success of his clinic that they were achieving was truly inspirational. Because a large component of this clinic was going to be emotional support, I next turned to Dr. Julianne Zweifel, who's a clinical psychologist who specializes in reproductive health issues, including pregnancy and infant loss. From the start, she was interested in being part of this clinic. So together, we cultivated the idea, discussed how the clinic would work, and through many meetings and brainstorming sessions, the Hope After Loss Clinic began to come together and was moving forward and becoming a reality. The other group of people who were integral in the formation of this clinic were patients who had experienced loss. I sought out their advice and input as to what they would want from a clinic, what gaps had existed in their medical care, and what they needed to feel supported in their pregnancy loss, and for some, in their pregnancy after loss. Through 2 years of a lot of meetings, brainstorming, research, information gathering, and immense support from my OBGYN department at UW, the Hope After Loss Clinic was launched on May 24th, 2017. The clinic is open to anyone who experienced pregnancy or infant loss at any time during their pregnancy, at any stage of their pregnancy, at any time of their life. The clinic provides care both during loss, following a loss. We also offer preconception counseling, and we also offer full scope prenatal care in people who are pregnant after a prior loss. Additionally, we also offer counseling services. So there's really 3 goals that have been driving the work of this clinic. The first goal of the clinic is to provide personalized, evidence-based, both medical and emotional care. We have strived to create a safe space for families to openly share their feelings, concerns, and questions. The second goal of the clinic is to provide on-site, but in the time of COVID, telemedicine, counseling services, which are provided by Dr. Zweifel for those who choose to see her. The third goal of the clinic is to educate our OBGYN resident physicians on both the medical and emotional aspects of pregnancy and infant loss. So since the clinic has started, we have provided care to over 300 women and their families. The clinic continues to thrive and grow, which only demonstrates the significant need of this type of specialized care. Additionally, in the past 1 to 2 years, more pregnancy loss clinics have been established in the United States. Just in January of this year, a pregnancy loss clinic opened in New York City, and multiple other clinics are currently in the works nationally. As more providers and healthcare systems recognize how important and necessary this work is, I anticipate that we will see many other clinics open. In looking back, in the almost 9 years since I've lost Caleb, it's amazing to recognize how much this little boy, who was only in this world for 5 short months and never took a breath, has changed my life. He forever changed me as a person, a friend, a mother, and a wife. I love more deeply because of him. And as highlighted in this talk today, he changed my career. This clinic would not have existed without him, and it is truly a heart song to my son. His short life means something and continues to have a ripple impact through each patient who is seen in the clinic. His loss has also provided me the opportunity to meet and connect with other families who've experienced pregnancy and infant loss. I have met so many amazing individuals who have lived through the profound tragedy of losing a child and have used this experience to help others. The Whitmore family is a perfect example of this. I am so impressed and inspired by the work that you have done and continue to do in honor of your daughter. You're helping so many families who are navigating the journey of grief and loss. I am so honored to be with you today to celebrate Alana. Thank you.
Here is a message from Sam from Push for Empowered Pregnancy.
Hi, my name is Samantha Banerjee, and I'm the Executive Director of Push for Empowered Pregnancy. As the mother of another much beloved and much missed little girl named Alana, who was born still just 2 days before her due date in 2013, I'm so honored to be here with you tonight, celebrating the life of Alana Rose and all 23,000 babies who are born still each year in the United States. PUSH is a brand new national 501c3 organization dedicated solely to raising awareness of stillbirth and preventing as many of these tragedies from happening as possible. We are an entirely volunteer force of bereaved parents from around the United States, and we've come together to say enough. We're grateful to have the support of many courageous and trailblazing medical professionals in our mission to end preventable stillbirth. One of those amazing providers is Dr. Kristen Sharp, who we're lucky to count as a member of our medical advisory board. Building upon her incredible work at the Hope After Loss Clinic in Madison and that of Dr. Alex Heasel, who created the original Rainbow Clinic in the UK, we are thrilled to announce the launch of the first ever US Rainbow Clinic right here in New York City. Partnering with Dr. Joanne Stone, the president of the Society for Maternal and Fetal Medicine and head of obstetrics for Mount Sinai Hospital System. In just a few short weeks, we'll be opening the doors to thousands of lost parents across the US to finally get the sensitive, trauma-informed care that they deserve in their pregnancies after loss. Did you know that in New York City alone, there are 900 stillbirths every single year? And that's only a small fraction of the 65 families every single day who are leaving the hospital with empty arms. And until now, unless they've been lucky enough to live near Dr. Sharp's clinic, or just a handful of other dedicated pregnancy after loss providers across the US, these families have been struggling through their subsequent pregnancies on their own. As stillbirth families, there are so many things that we learn when it's already too late. So many things that we wish we had known to give us the confidence that we and our providers had done everything possible to give our baby the best possible chance. At the New York City Rainbow Clinic at Mount Sinai Hospital, we're putting all of that hard-won knowledge into practice in training their staff to provide world-class emotional and mental support through the harrowing pregnancy after loss experience. In addition, Dr. Stone will be utilizing innovative, cutting-edge medicine like estimated placental volume and partnering closely with patients to design a care plan that's tailored to each family's individual needs. Our hope is that the New York City Rainbow Clinic will achieve the same incredible success that the UK Rainbow Clinic and the Hope After Loss Clinic have, and that those desperately needed changes to medical protocol will trickle down through the rest of the medical system, improving care not only for families who are pregnant again after a loss, but for all families. Because as we know, every baby counts and every baby deserves the very best level of care. We hope that the New York City Rainbow Clinic is only the first of many more to come across the United States. And it's all due to trailblazing providers and lost families like Dr. Sharp and Alana's family, the Whitmores, who are working so hard to fight for change and make sure that no family has to live with the regrets that so many of us do. So thank you so much for having us here tonight, and we look forward to fighting beside you. United we push.
And now, another special performance by Shekinah King.
Somewhere over the rainbow lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Dreams you dare to dream of really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles left like lemon drops way up above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. There's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles mount like lemon drops way up above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, I can't tell.
And now I am excited to introduce a very special guest. Miss Portia Cox is Miss Madison for Miss Wisconsin 2022 American Strong, and a bereaved mother who is passionate about preventing pregnancy and infant loss.
Hi, my name is Portia Cox. I'm a mom of 7, but I have a few losses, and a few losses that I would like to share with you. It's very hard to share these losses with you, and one in particular that really people say, you know, a loss is a loss, but a loss isn't loss. I experienced a stillborn birth in 2019. Healthy pregnancy, to be a son that I would have named Carter. Previous to that, in 2017, I lost a son, a twin, to my beautiful 4-year-old Carly Rose, her brother, Bentley. I did not have time to process that death. They had suffered necrotizing enterocolitis, which is brought on by a formula fed in the NICU, which is a whole nother thing. This loss of a stillborn, I couldn't wrap my mind around. I played daily. What could I have done differently? Was it my fault? What was missing? I did everything I was supposed to. I took the prenatal pills. I drank the water. I ate 3 meals plus a day. I took really good care of myself. This loss destroyed the relationship that I had with their father. I couldn't trust him. He lacked a sense of remorse, and I felt disconnected. And then I started to feel disconnected from everyone. It was just such a fast track of chaos. One day I was 7 months pregnant, and the next I was, 8 months and a week. And I always give birth a little early, around 34, 36 weeks. So I'm thinking I'm giving birth in 3 weeks. I have a crib, everything is ready. I'm ready to raise this little boy, and I am so excited, but internally I had a lot of fears that I never discussed with anyone because of the loss of, my twin. And I went into an ultrasound because I was high risk because of that previous loss. They had done an ultrasound, and the nurse, after about 5 minutes of looking around, said, "Hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab the doctor, and this is normal procedure." Mind you, I've had multiple pregnancies, and I knew very well that wasn't a normal procedure. That was not something that they would normally do. So my intuition kicked in again, when I knew that I was having some issues that I was concerned about. Well, the doctor and the PA and the nurse came back in. They immediately started to tell me, "We're very sorry, but your fetus is no longer active. Your fetus is no longer active. The heart has stopped." His heart stopped, and so did mine. Till this day, it's the hardest thing I've ever. I don't even know if they say it's the hardest thing you have to accept, and I've never accepted it. I never got a reason, never got a medical explanation. So sorry. I sat in an empty room, a nursery room, for months, alone, and suffered so much. I didn't trust anyone. I was alone. I had suffered postpartum depression. I almost took my life. I couldn't hold my other kids. And I had a baby because I just had Carly and her brother in 2017. She was not even 2. And I couldn't look at her for 6 months. I didn't want nothing to do with her or another baby. And every time I saw a pregnant woman, I was scorned. I was angry, and I had a negative energy about me, and I almost cursed happiness and their realm of happiness. And then it's so troubling to me. So I went out and sought some medical treatment, some therapy, and they gave me sertraline, which helps with depression and postpartum, and it made me worse. It made me delusional, and it made me where I had to deal with some psychosis, but no one talked about it. I went to therapy, but no one really talks about what is your feelings, what's your internal feeling, what's your maternal feeling, I had to suffer in silence without having anyone to relate to. And then I met Kim and all the wonderful people that continue to donate and continue to contribute to this cause that she has, and her loss, and her daughter, her beautiful daughter. And I was very fortunate to have this, and I was very fortunate, and and it wasn't even anything that I immediately saw it was something that was on my Facebook one day, and it must have been from, treading the internet and trending ads, losses and understanding losses. I Googled and researched, what do you do when you're sad as shit? You'll never have an answer. But I feel like I've grown a lot within the years. I've had a successful pregnancy. I have a daughter. She's 5 months old and she's beautiful.
On October 15th, we partnered with Healing Our Hearts to host the first annual Empty Stroller Awareness Walk. It was so powerful to see bereaved parents, their families, and supporters pushing empty strollers around the Capitol in downtown Madison as a way to raise awareness and help reduce the stigma around pregnancy and infant loss. After the walk, we gathered on the steps of the State Capitol building for a short program and a candlelight vigil in honor of the International Wave of Light. It was truly a special event. This October, we are very excited to be partnering with a number of organizations across the United States to host the Big Push in Washington, D.C. on October 15th. Here is a message from Sam from Push for Empowered Pregnancy with more details about this historic event.
Hi, it's Sam from Push for Empowered Pregnancy again, sneaking in one more time to share with you an exciting announcement that we're bringing you in partnership with the Alana Rose Foundation and over 30 other perinatal loss bereavement organizations and maternal and fetal health advocates across the United States. We were so inspired by what you and the Healing Our Hearts Foundation did with the Empty Stroller Walk last year that we've decided to take that idea and bring it to DC on an even bigger scale. On October 15th, 2022, join us in Washington, D.C. for the Big Push to End Preventable Stillbirth. We're calling on 23,000 families to push empty strollers past the steps of Congress, one for each child born still in the past year. Enough is enough. It's time to call for change. The average expectant family today still has no idea that stillbirth still happens, that it can happen even in a healthy, low-risk pregnancy, and that there are things they can do to lower their risk. We're coming together to demand that our leaders in government and in medicine finally make stillbirth prevention a priority. Our counterparts in the UK and Australia have put dedicated protocols in place to reduce the incidence of stillbirth, and they're seeing success. In just a few short years, using tools we already have at our disposal, their stillbirth rates are dropping 20 to 30%. Recent research shows that at least 25% of stillbirths in the United States are preventable. And if we matched the stillbirth rates of our best international counterparts, we could be preventing up to 75% of US stillbirths. That's tens of thousands of families going home with their baby in their arms every year, instead of with an empty stroller or infant carrier. We must empower future families to advocate for themselves, especially BIPOC families who are at more than double the risk of suffering a stillbirth due to systemic and institutionalized racism. We can do better, but only if we come together and push hard for change. So join us. Go to thebigpushmarch.org for more information and to RSVP, and rally the other families you know who are ready to raise their voice in honor of all the children we are missing. Change is here. United we push.
At this time, we would like to invite you to light a candle in remembrance of all angel babies. Whether you had an early pregnancy loss, a stillbirth, or an infant loss, your baby's life matters. The Alana Rose Foundation has created a special way to honor and remember all angel babies year-round by including their names and dates of death on our online angel butterfly display. You can add your baby to the Angel Butterfly display by filling out a short survey on our website. During our candlelight moment of remembrance, we are so honored that the talented Shekinah King will perform for the first time ever an original song appropriately titled Angel Baby. This song was written, composed, and performed by Shekinah King and recorded by Corey Whitmore of Media 22 to help raise awareness about pregnancy and infant loss. After the event, the song will be available for download on our website for a $5 donation to the Alana Rose Foundation. Shekinah describes the meaning of this special song by saying, "Although I haven't personally experienced this, I have several close friends that I've grieved with over losing their babies. With their inspiration, I wanted to write this song in hopes that someone going through a similar situation may find some peace and healing through music. Grieving memories that never existed and wondering what that child would have been like, what they would have become. Instead of growing older, they'll be frozen in time, forever, my angel baby."
My arms, they ache to hold you. My heart could never know. Imagining what you would have been and how you'd grow. Memories that never existed. I could have never predicted that your name would be on my heart. Thinking about what you might have been, thinking about what you could have been. All of these questions and wondering why. Forever you're frozen in my mind. My angel, baby. You grew under my heart for such a little time, and there you will be. When I think of you, joy and sadness flow out of me. Sweet child, sweet angel of thee, I am changed. You took a piece of me with you until we meet again. Thinking about what you might have been, thinking about what you could have been. All of these questions and wondering why. Forever you're frozen in my mind. My angel, baby. You left footprints on my heart and handprints on my soul. My little baby, my little love. You left footprints on my heart and handprints on my soul. My little baby, my little love. You're my little love. Thinking about what you might have been, thinking about what you could have been. All of these questions and wondering why. Forever you're frozen in my mind. Trapped in a moment for all time. My angel, baby. You're my angel, baby.
Tonight's event could not have been possible without the generous support of many individuals and organizations. We first want to thank the Madison Concourse Hotel and Governors Club for once again being amazing to work with as we host yet another virtual event in the middle of a pandemic. We want to thank Nothing But Cakes for donating their delicious buntlets to help with our dessert for our to-go meals. We also want to thank Little Frog Photography for taking professional photos on the purple carpet this evening. A special thanks to Shekinah King for sharing her incredible music and talents with us this evening. Don't forget to download a copy of Angel Baby on our website after the program. Thank you to all of our speakers, especially our keynote, Dr. Kristen Sharp from the Hope After Loss Clinic. We are also very grateful for our many event sponsors and for all the individuals and businesses that donated so generously to support our online silent auction. I'd also like to give a special thanks to our planning committee who contributed time and energy to support organizing tonight's event. And finally, a big thank you to each of you who is attending this evening for supporting this special event. It means so much to us. While our program has come to an end, the party isn't over. The online silent auction is open until 9 p.m. and donations can be made anytime at alanarose.org. VIP guests are invited to stick around for the exclusive after party as well. We can't wait to see you next year, hopefully in person, at the 4th Annual Butterfly Ball. Thanks again and have a great night.
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and he pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do you? And it goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall, and the major left, the powerful king composing hallelujah and hallelujah. Strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throat and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew hallelujah and hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. You used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the marble arch, and love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah and hallelujah.